announcing our next presenter for today, and actually our last presenter for today. It's been such a full day, so much wisdom, so much activation, so much knowledge, and we are closing today with Brandon Strabala, who is here with us in Sedona and is the founder of Organites. And he has been creating powerful Organite healing and transformation tools for over a decade. He brings the gift of being able to share EMF and 5G protection with the world. The magic of each device is in the mixture of over 50 different crystals. The crystals add beneficial frequencies to the mix of metal, shavings, and resin. The benefits are numerous and incredible as Organite taps into this ever-present energy all around us that we've been speaking about, and that we can tune into this energy and utilize it for the betterment of humanity, whether you call it chi, ki, prana, organ, ether, the universal life force. We all know underlying energy beyond some confining definition exists and empowers and flows through everything. And we really welcome Brandon here today with us to talk to us about frequency and ascension. Thank you, Brandon.
Thank you guys so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here and to be sharing and just to be talking today. It was it's such an honor.
Wonderful. Well, welcome. And we're here to share your gifts. I just want to say that Mark Danisovsky is commenting, I just bought a beautiful 5-pointed Organite pyramid from him last Sunday. Organites for the win.
Yay.
Oh, yay.
Oh.
Beautiful. Thanks, Mark, for sharing that. And Brandon, we're so excited to hear from you.
Oh, no, thank you. I'm excited to share. I'm like, this has been one of the talks I've been looking forward to most, is really about how frequency changes our lives. And that's something that personally, I know it for a fact. Really, frequency has a big part of our lives right now. And I think Tesla said it best: if you understand the world and you can unlock the world if you understand frequency. And the whole world is made of frequencies, and everything's frequency. So it's been something for me with Organite. Frequency is a very big part of what makes Organite work. And since I've been doing it for 10 years, I've gotten so much feedback, so much information. And I'd say it's kind of hard right now to test without having really, really expensive equipment how Organite works. But when I test it on 10,000 people and I get the same results back every time, that's how I know that that frequency is making a difference in people's lives. And I mean, I've had people tell me their headaches go away, they sleep better. Duct taping it under their coworker's desk, telling me their coworkers chill out. So bringing frequencies into the mix really changes, I think, the way we live our lives. And frequency is so much bigger than just Organite or crystals or anything like that. And that's kind of what I'm excited to talk more about. I mean, I found using my Organite, it's like, I put 50 different crystals in all of them. And each crystal is going to have a unique frequency to it. It's based upon the structure of the crystalline structure within the crystals. But on top of that, the color helps vibrate different frequencies. So you're getting different frequencies off of different crystals. And that's where I find putting them inside of Organite, which you get a piezoelectric effect, kind of like your quartz crystal watch, where you're tuning the frequency of the crystal is actually tuning the watch. And so that's how a quartz crystal watch works. They tune it to the very precise frequency of a quartz crystal. And those good frequencies seem to have beneficial effects in our lives. And that's been one of the things with me that I found putting all those 50 crystals in. I've never had anyone tell me they don't work. Never had anyone tell me they don't, or to come and take me up on my money back guarantee. I mean, I'm 10 years in and it's still 10 years of 100% satisfaction. And that's one of those things where I definitely know something's going on. And the science now is, I think, actually catching up, but it's still not quite proving Organite, but it is proving frequency makes a difference. And I think music and sound are kind of the biggest things that I've noticed recently. Is the science behind it is cymatics. And it's basically taking sound and applying a visual device to it. So a lot of people are playing sound on speakers and you're actually getting these patterns out of the speakers. And that's been one of the things that I've been studying, is like 432 hertz versus 440 hertz. So these are two different frequencies. 432 is a very pretty frequency, 440 is not. Now, if you can see closer, I have other frequencies as well. And those frequencies are like, you have A2, the piano notes. So they played these piano notes and they actually started getting these symbols out of water, out of sand, and they're getting them out of all these different materials, but it's showing that at certain frequencies, you get these harmonic patterns. And at other frequencies, you get disharmonic patterns. So we're, in essence, these musical tones can bring us more harmony into our life, or actually create more disharmony in our life. And if you really study the music or how music has been cultivated over the past 300 years, they basically started retuning all the instruments in the institutions of music and started adding this 440 hertz in, so that people that were playing 432 hertz couldn't really play with 440 hertz tuned music, otherwise it would sound off. So to play with the institutions, you had to retune your instruments to 440 hertz, till eventually that became the industry standard. So now we're constantly exposed to 440 hertz music, to the point where people are now retuning their instruments, the music, and everything back to 432, and they're seeing profound results. Or even playing the same song in 440 versus 432. I've heard quite a few people perform it on YouTube, and it's like, wow, that 432, you feel it through your body. And that's because it's bringing harmony. It's like, we love that frequency. We want to listen to it. It's medicine for us. And if we're listening to medicine that's kind of disharmonic, creating these distortions, even if it's the most positive music, it's not helping us to the degree that it could. And that was kind of one of those things that I learned doing testing music, testing sound. Now you can sing apparently the worst song in the world in 432 and it can still cause disharmony. So it's not just, oh, we're using 432, so it's all good. It's like, no, it's also intention. And that's the other aspect of frequency that I think is one of the most important, because I think we're the most powerful radiators of frequency on the entire planet as people, short of the planet itself being a resonator of frequencies. So that was kind of something that I had to look into, and that was actually my first understandings of frequency, was actually looking into Dr. Emoto's Messages to Water. So with that, he was actually, and this, I got another symbol of all of this stuff, and I think a lot of people have seen this, a lot of people are familiar with this work, but it only shows you different frequencies create different patterns. And you have basically Mozart creates a beautiful pattern. I wonder if Mozart played in 432 looks better than Mozart played in 440. We have peace. We have thank you. I can't read that backwards. Imagine John Lennon, love. And then there's Fujiwara before prayer and Fujiwara after prayer. So the same water taken a picture of creates ugly symbols when it's dirty, but if you pray over it, you create beautiful water. I'm like, and that's one of those things where you can say like love to water, or I will kill you to water. And the I kill you, I think, is the most ugly of all the pictures. It's just like, it's disgusting. I'm like, it should make you feel gross inside to say something like that. And that's, it does actually. Oh, there we go. It's actually, there's science proving that if you say these words, that's how the water inside our body will react. And so when we start filling our bodies and our minds with higher vibrational thoughts, frequencies, ideas, it really changes our lives. And that's been something I've applied into my life. And one of the next things that I learned was language, because language is a frequency, how we talk. I mean, Hebrew was something that changed my life more than anything. And I won't get into it too much, but I was trying to manifest using English prosperity. All of a sudden, I come across that Hebrew is a higher vibrational language. I switch to Hebrew and I write shalom everywhere in my room. And it's like prosperity just starts skyrocketing. And I'm like, I had a poster that said my prosperity is skyrocketing with a spaceship, like with a tractor beam of gold bars. So it was something silly, but it was like, I don't care if I end up with half of that. A spaceship or a pile of gold bars is great. So it was like my prosperity wasn't skyrocketing using English though. I end up with $100 to my name, but then I switched to Hebrew and it's everything changed. And I just started reprogramming my subconscious thoughts of poverty mindset. And those poverty thoughts are a frequency too. And they create that frequency. You embody that frequency. So it's our mind and our what we subconsciously think, I think are some of the most powerful frequencies in our lives. And that's why I find like organite and crystals and things that promote new frequencies into our lives to retrain our bodies to more higher vibrational frequencies. It changes the way our lives work. We don't work under the same principles because we're living in an ascension world, a world that I think if we look at what is it, quantum physics, it's like the way we look at the world defines it. But if we stop looking at it, an infinite amount of possibilities appears when you look at quantum physics, even just the double slit experiment. But we start watching it and it goes straight. But I bet you there's somebody that could watch that and make it go up because they believe it can, or they can make it do it, or it's the power of our intention, the power of what we believe. And that's a vibration that carries, I think, through the world so powerful because we're these divine beings that are channeling this divine energy. And when we know how to channel it in the highest vibration, that's not making us fight an uphill battle. It's like using English was an uphill battle for me to create prosperity. Switching to Hebrew flows effortlessly. And all I have to do is remember to surround myself with prosperity, surround myself with Hebrew words of prosperity. And that's, I mean, I have them all over my computer. So when I'm at my computer, I'm subconsciously getting programmed just like ads do. And all of these ads that people are creating are putting bad frequencies. That's why I can't even watch ads. I mean, I'll sit there and cover my eyes and plug my ears and be like, nah. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to see it. I don't want that subconscious programming triggering something within me or reinforcing a trigger. And it's like you start watching these ads and that you find that they're more triggering fears and things like that. That's a frequency too. It's like everything is frequency. Like 99% of my body here is empty space. The thing holding it together is the frequency that our consciousness is literally holding all of this together. The collective consciousness, it's all frequency. And when we decide that we have the power to change the frequency of the things around us, that power just keeps growing. And that's what this ascension is we're moving into higher frequencies where things aren't so dense, where our consciousness can interact with it more easily. And that's what I feel right now is an ascension to the soul, how frequency is changing our lives. Look at the Schumann resonance. The earth has a frequency to it. It's so powerful, but it's been raising. The frequency of the earth is going up. So that's why it's like we're in an ascension time. We can scientifically prove that the frequency that we're vibrating at is going up. Are they testing it? Not really. Can we see the results of it though? And that's where it's like, absolutely. There's no doubt in my mind that people are raising in vibration. Synchronicities are increasing. flow of the world is increasing, and that's being in the vibration of everything. You start to flow with it. You're not fighting it. You're assisting this creation of this new world that we're coming into. It's going to be a higher vibration. It's going to be a higher frequency. I mean, I think always one of the things that resonated really big with me when I came across it was there was a teacher, and he was talking about working at an ashram with families that had moved to the ashram. So the parents had come from our world, the real world, but they had brought their kids to this ashram to start training them in the ways of spirituality and training under monks that have dedicated their lives to this practice. And so these kids just absorbed it up to the point where they had raised their frequency so high that they were vibrating so high that the parents weren't even able to see them anymore. They had literally, because they're at such a high vibration, you're able to see through that energy. It's like an angelic being. It can choose to be there, it can choose not to, but the kids had to then learn how to say, oh, hey, here we are, mom and dad. And the parents had to open up their perception to say, hey, we can see more with our eyes than we're even being led to believe. We can see frequencies outside of ourselves. And that's like, I mean, I've been having a big one with imaginary friends that people grow up with. It's like if kids can perceive these dimensions, these other frequencies, who's to say they're not real? I mean, that's been one of my things. I'm like, wow. And then I'm starting to talk to people. They're like, yeah, maybe my imaginary friend wasn't quite as imaginary as I thought. And it's like, now we could be giving those energies power or whatever. And that's where we have to be mindful of not accidentally inviting in darker energies. And it's just wild when you start thinking it's like it's all vibration. And even the angelic beings and the dark beings, it's all vibration. It's not, I feel, good or bad, but it's like, well, what do you want to play with? You want to play in the higher vibrations, or do you really want to play in the lower vibrations? It's our choice. And these vibrations actually have to respect our choice to the point where if we say no, those energies don't bother us anymore. We have a vibration, a frequency of power that I still can't explain fully. I think there's other spiritual teachers this weekend that'll actually put that into words far better than I ever could. And that's been one of my things, is it's the power that we have within ourselves is magnificent, and it's life-changing. It's an incredible power that I think that we can all possess. We can all raise our vibration, raise our frequency. But the real power comes in integrating everything. So it's not just saying, oh, I'm going to flow all vibrationally good, because then it leaves polarity. It's like the real power comes in bringing that together and understanding I'm going to raise the vibration of everything. The darkness, the light, it's all coming up. And we're gonna bring it all up. We're not going to ignore it. We're not going to run from it. We're not going to spiritual bypass it. We're bringing this vibration up. So we have to raise the vibration of even this dark stuff. We have to pull it up. We have to look at it. We have to say, hey, what's going on here? What can we do in a higher vibrational way? So we're not like stringing people up in the streets. It's like, this is higher vibrational thinking. And that's the frequencies that we're operating on. And when we have those higher vibrations, those answers flow through us. And it feels good. You use discernment, you check your gut. It's like, that's a vibration too. When it feels bad in your gut, that's like the universe saying, I should look at this a little bit more. And I even got that lesson this past week, is like, listen to your gut. If your gut's saying something, listen to it. And by the end of the day, I knew exactly what my gut was trying to say, but it took the whole day for me to figure it out. And that's one of those things where it's thoughts. Everything is so much important on frequency that if we understand it more and understand how to utilize it and surround ourselves. I mean, we just had a gong bath and and drum that was just, would have been incredible to listen to, but you could feel the energy of it no matter what happened. It's like the frequency's still there. And for those that are really dialed in, they could probably pop out of their body and go sit in the room and just be like, yeah, I was there. It was fine. It was great. I don't need this technology stuff, because we're more technologically advanced than anything else out there. And we have the power in that vibration. And we've been told we can't do these things. And that's a vibration too, saying, hey, you can't do this. If your vibration says you can't, you're never going to vibrate above that level until you say, psh. Just like the vibration of you couldn't run faster than a 4-minute mile, and then somebody did it, and then hundreds of people did it. It's like our perceptions create a vibration, our expectations create vibrations, barriers that once we break those barriers, and all of our, I mean, that's what you look at the creative people on this planet, and it's like, they're like, it just came in. It's just information out there. I mean, the Michael Jacksons, the Princes, all these people, they openly talk about the song just came to them. I mean, Michael Jackson said if he didn't write it down, somebody else would, or Prince would actually steal his songs. So you start thinking, it's like, it's all vibration, it's all out there. And the visionaries, the luminaries are able to go out and grab that vibration that we start vibrating at. And as we keep going higher and higher, all of these new ideas are popping into possibilities. And a bunch of people are grabbing them all at once and saying, we're going to run with it. And so you're seeing all these people doing the same things, but that's what needs to happen. We all need to be doing these things. We need lots more people doing these things. And that's going to raise the vibration too. And we have a lot of people working together. And that's one of the most powerful frequencies. And that was something that I learned with like the Shalom is, yeah, I can say it to myself all day long, but when I say it to someone else, now I'm wishing peace, prosperity, abundance, kindness on that person in a higher vibrational language, giving them one of the best gifts they can. I mean, somebody told me, they're like, aren't Jewish people all wealthy? I'm like, I bet you the ones that have Shalom on their walls and say it to each other are the wealthiest families out there. And it's like, I'm seeing that more as my family of Shalom supporters is growing. All of our abundance is growing, and we're wishing that Shalom onto each other. And it's very powerful when you get together in a collective effort, and that vibration just grows, expands, and now it's an unstoppable force that nothing on this planet can stop because we're united. And it's like, once we've all come together and we're doing that together, it's like, that's what Ascension's going to be, is a collective vibration that's so high that it just creates this new world almost effortlessly, because we have that capacity within ourselves. But we need to vibrate at those levels to get to those steps. So until we bring everyone else up, we're the high ones up here holding up the people. Now everyone else is rising right now, but we're all higher vibration pushing up, and there's a lot still just holding us down. So that's falling away, that's dissolving, and that's creating fear amongst all these people. But that's what has to fall away. And we have to look at that from a higher vibration, say, well, what about that can we do to prevent it from happening again, to make sure this doesn't ever occur again? How do we stop these things from happening again? And we have to look at it to say, well, we can't stop it if we don't even know what to stop. But if we look at these things, then we really raise our vibration, not as saying, oh, I'm just all light. It's like, no, I'm everything. And nothing can keep us down, because we're all in a vibration of saying we choose to be this way. Why? Because we know better now. And that's the thing. It's thoughts, everything, feeling good, happiness, joy. It's a vibration. You share it with people. You can feel when people are happy. You can feel when people are sad. Why? Because we can feel vibrations. And when we understand those vibrations, it changes our lives, because then we can navigate this world, I think, more easily. and people are putting together those maps of how to navigate those energies, how to deal with them, how to get in and out. And that flow is different for each person. It's like this, I like to go this way and this way. I'm a more extreme person. Guess what? That doesn't work for everybody, but it works for me. And there's nothing wrong with that. And that's what we also have to understand is each person's on their own path. We can't say, oh, this frequency works for me, it's going to work for you. It's like, no, this thing works for me. It may or may not work for you. But here, if you want to try it, I'd like to offer it and not feel bad if they say, no, I don't care. And I'm like, cool, that's fine. I'm fine with it because I use it. But if you don't want to, and that's where I have to learn with organize. So many people every day, every weekend, it's like, whatever. I'm like, that's cool. I still guarantee it. And if you want your money back and it doesn't work, I'll still give you your money back. So please, if you don't want it, great. If you do want it, great. It doesn't matter. Because hopefully me just sharing with them opens up their mind a little, and the next person down the road has an easier time opening up their mind. But if I attack them and say, you need it, they're like, I don't want to talk to any spiritual person ever again. It's like, because we need to go out with spreading the good vibrations, and it goes out with respecting and honoring and knowing how to, when we start feeling somebody's vibrations coming back at us, it's like, I'll back off. Thank you. I'm sorry. And that's how we navigate these frequencies and understand and master ourselves and know that nothing's really bad, but how we express some of those frequencies can definitely be good or bad. But I don't know. I think that's kind of where I would leave my frequency talk on what's changed my life and how I hope it can help change your life more. And I don't know if we have enough time for any questions or.
Sure. Thank you so much, Brandon. That was wonderful. And I just love what you were saying, that there really is no limit to our vibration and our vibrational possibilities. And, we can just keep creating and expanding together. So it's really true. It's so amazing. And we had a question coming in earlier when you were speaking. Someone was asking about Hebrew and if that was your language and that's why you chose it, or is it because it's an ancient language? Wanted to answer that.
No, I ended up like with $100 to my name a couple Februarys ago, and synchronistically, I'm like sitting there like, what am I going to do? And I open up a book, and right there on the front, the page I opened to was Sanskrit, Hebrew, Aramaic, and Egyptian were very high vibrational languages given to us by higher vibrational beings. And I was like, that's interesting. I'm like, well, I don't know anybody that speaks Egyptian because it's a lost language. And I know a bunch of Jewish people, so I'm going to go with Hebrew. So that was kind of what ended up sending me down that path. And it's changed my life. Like I said, more than anything, more than Organite, it's like language. It's like how we use language. Like, are we really going to free ourselves? Or are we going to keep weakening ourselves? And that was, something with language. It's like we say we go to work week. We go to our work week, W-E-A-K. It's the same sound. Our subconscious mind does not discern it. We work week every day. We look forward to our weekend. We're weekend. We're weekend during our weekend. It's like your subconscious mind does not discern these things. It's a vibration. And our language is so sabotaging and so hurting us. It's like that was something with language that I felt was very powerful with frequency, because it was like, you start looking at it. I awake in the morning. It's like, no, I only mourn at wakes. I grand rise and it's like, why does everyone hate mornings? Because you're awake, you only mourn at wakes. Your subconscious mind does not discern this. You're literally waking up to a funeral every day on your subconscious mind. So you got a grand rise. And it's like, or something else. There's all sorts of weird stuff that spiritual people are starting to say, but it's like, stop sabotaging ourselves and our language. And it's like that's a big one for me. And I've been doing a lot more research. I wish I knew more answers to what to say to work week and all this. It's like, no, how about we just ditch the English language and start learning a new one? But I don't know. That's a hard one too.
Awesome. Thanks, Brandon, for, working with us on raising our vibration through frequency, sound, power of language, and of course, power of the transformational tools that you create, Organite, which we had a number of our listeners raving about, which is awesome. So
No, thank you all so much. It was amazing meeting like so many people last week. I mean, and that's, I think, the last thing. It's like the pyramid definitely has different frequencies.
I've got
this
it,
one's
Brandon.
this one's a masculine frequency. This, like, the Giza seems to be a more feminine. The triangles seem to be a balance between the two. So it's like everything's frequency. Oh, I love your pyramid. That's a good ocean one.
I know, I love this one. It's so many people comment on it. It's amazing. I just wanted to share with you, Brandon, I've never heard this about shalom. And so I was actually needing to stop sitting up in a chair, and I laid down on the floor, and I was, instead of oming, I was shaloming. And I did. I felt my vibration go up. I really did. I was like, okay, this is something. I'm going to play with shalom. Thank you, Brandon.
Thank you. My pleasure. Thank you so much. This is amazing. Thank you for having me on.
Yeah, so great. That was a first. I've never heard that.
And we have our audience saying, thank you for sharing your beautiful high vibrational energy. And
thank you so much.
Thank you. And really, like, I mean, I think it is beautiful because language, the words, every word, every sound has its own frequency and vibration. And these ancient languages, like you mentioned, Aramaic, Arabic, Hebrew, Sanskrit, they were created with that mysticism of sound and vibration within the languages themselves. And that's why we own, that's why our mantras that we say are, in Sanskrit or Gurmukhi or in all of these ancient languages, there is a power and resonance in every sound. And so it's so beautiful that you really brought that through for us, because it really helps us to even deepen our understanding of the power of the mantras that we do and just the power of every word that we say as a mantra.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, thank you. No, I agree. It's powerful. So yeah.
Wonderful. What a day that we've been having today.